My father was a English professor, so we started making moves as he got promoted. We moved from Baldwin, Kansas to Parkville, Missouri. But because I'd moved too late, I couldn't make the basketball team. That week they had wrestling and gym class, and I took 7th out of 8 guys in the wrestling gym class tournament. And I decided, well, I'll go out for wrestling since I can't do basketball. I beat the guy who won that tournament in double overtime to become the school's 9th grade varsity wrestler at 98 pounds, and I decided that I liked wrestling as a sport. My parents moved again, and this time we moved to Albion, Michigan, which was a school that was really not a very good high school. It had all kinds of problems. That high school wrestling team did not win a match. I was the best wrestler we had, but I was not a great high school wrestler. I never got pinned, but we just weren't very good. But after high school, I wanted to play 3 sports in college. So I went to Alma College and played soccer, wrestling, and baseball. And Alma was the opposite of everything I had in high school. At Alma, they won. We had great coaching and we had a great team. And so I learned real quickly that you have to be in a wrestling room with a great coach and with great wrestlers to be better. You know, I was the worst guy on my wrestling team on the first day, and then I turned out to be a pretty good wrestler. I learned to grind through it, and once I learned that grind and that extra effort paid off, it has carried forward in my life. When I got into the business world and I got to compete against just normal human beings, I found it very easy. They didn't understand the same sacrifice that a wrestler's used to putting forward. They weren't trained and they didn't have the same mentality. Business rewards persistency, hard work, dedication and discipline, and that's what wrestling teaches you. If we can get better every day and we make that a part of our core being, just imagine how high you can climb. I started my own insurance agency when I was 28 years old. At the end of our first year, we sold more health insurance than anybody in Arkansas, and we've done that for 26 straight years. We recently were told that we were the largest organically grown insurance agency in the United States. When I moved to Arkansas, it did not have all the sports sometimes other states had, and so it was kind of depressing that we didn't have wrestling. And it had probably been 20 years, and I got a call one day from Don Schuler in Northwest Arkansas, and he said, "I heard you're a college wrestler. I know that you've done a lot of things in the community." At that time, I'd helped start the Little Rock Marathon. I'd helped start the Mighty Bluebird Sports Organization. And he said, "Would you be interested in doing wrestling?" I said, "It's been on my to-do list. Let's do it." So I got with a local radio personality, David Basil, who's well known, and we went to the AAA offices and asked them, "Hey, what will it take to get wrestling sanctioned?" And they said, "Well, you got to get a minimum of 16 schools."
When Greg came to our association back many years ago and floated the idea of starting wrestling in the state of Arkansas, we were skeptical of it because we never have had wrestling before.
And so we went and we did a press conference and we announced that we would buy wrestling mats for the first 20 schools that would add wrestling. I told them if they didn't make the decision within 30 days, the wrestling mat would go to the next school. And we got 20 schools real quickly. We went back to the AAA, and when we went to the board, they made a deal with us that if we got 40 schools, it would be sanctioned. And so we went back out, did another press conference, and we got 24 more schools, and we got wrestling sanctioned with 44 schools.
You see a lot of pride in the young men and women that participate in wrestling in the state of Arkansas, and it makes us as an association proud of what Greg and his staff have done.
I got asked to speak at Ouachita Baptist University. The president, Rex Horn, happened to be in that speech, and afterwards he asked me if I wanted to go to lunch. And we sat down at lunch, and he said that he wanted me to help him with his insurance there at the college. And I told him, I said, I'd love to help you with your insurance, but I'd rather talk about wrestling at Ouachita Baptist University.
I didn't know much about wrestling, but there was an instant trust that I had in Greg Hatcher, and I believed that for Ouachita and for me, he wanted the best for our university and the best particularly for our young men who could be wrestlers. As a college president, I looked upon it as a way to help grow the enrollment. And we found that the wrestlers on our campus were good students. They were fitting in well on campus. They did things beyond just simply the sport and became an integral part of Ouachita Baptist University. So when I saw that, and I saw what it represents character, it represents discipline, it fits with the mission of our university, for me it became a no-brainer. And when I talked with my colleagues who were college presidents about sports and how to grow enrollment, I too became an advocate for collegiate wrestling.
Today we have bought mats for 65 different Arkansas high schools, 6 different Arkansas colleges, and another 6 colleges outside the state of Arkansas.
Anything is possible with Greg. When you think you can't do something, he'll find a way to make it happen. He's a doer, and I've never been around a guy like him. There's guys out there but I've never seen anybody at this level that can make things happen. And Greg is a guy that you want on your side if you're trying to achieve something. That's for sure. Well, here on the complex, we have the wrestling facility, a basketball facility. He has soccer fields, a brand new tennis facility that has just finished in the last couple of months. He has a big heart, and he's about the kids, and he's about just being as generous as he can to help and to motivate kids in the right way.
We are a very competitive family. I have my wife, Lee, Kelsey, who's 27, Haley and Larkin, who are twins, who are 23, Lane, who's 18, and Maddie, my last daughter, who's 16. They are all busy every day, all year, playing sports just the way I want them, and it kept them out of a lot of trouble. It's a great honor to be inducted into the National Wrestling Hall of Fame. I accept it on behalf of all the athletic directors, superintendents, and college presidents who said yes to wrestling because they're the real heroes.